Right, hello again, back to our OCAML tutorial videos. In this video we are going to learn about expression matching or matching expressions in OCAML. This is an extremely powerful feature of OCAML. This is similar to the switch case in Java or C. It's sort of like a sophisticated if statement, if you like, and the syntax looks like this. We use the match keyword, and then we have a certain expression, maybe a value calculated, or anyway some sort of expression, or even a sort of like a variable with in itself, which should be compared and matched against some other patterns. And the match looks like this. The match, um, as we said before, we can match it with different. I need to get rid of this actually. Yeah, we can match it. I'm expanding this match here now. We can match it with or compare it with the first pattern, for example, one pattern, and look at this arrow here, this hyphen larger than sign. So if this pattern is true or the expression matches this pattern, then apply or evaluate this expression, and that's an or. Yeah, that's a vertical bar, or maybe I can place it there. Or if the first one doesn't match, then try with the second pattern. So this should look like this, maybe try with the second pattern. If it doesn't match, then try with the third until we reach pattern N, and hopefully our expression will evaluate to one of these patterns. If it doesn't, then OCaml will give us a warning or an error, as we are going to see. Now let's try to apply this and use an example to clarify the idea. Have a look at this function here. Yes, have a look at this function here. Let me just remove that. Have a look at the function here. I'm sorry, that's my phone ringing. Let me put it down. Yeah. Have a look at this function here, which is a function to sort of match a value of variable I. Let int to month I equals, so this is a function, and we say match with, and you can, if you remember the syntax here, the match with, so match some expression with, that's just I with, and then the first pattern we don't need to use the vertical bar, this sort of or bar. So if I is 1, then return string January, or if I is 2, return February, or if I is 3, return March, and so on and so forth. Now in here I'm only returning a string value, but we can actually have some more logic, some more expressions, some more mathematical operations and things like that, and do some other calculations, and then return a value. Remember to use the opening and closing parentheses or the begin and end when you group multiple expressions, as we explained before. Now if I copy and paste this small function into our beautiful top loop. I don't know why I call it beautiful, but it's quite nice. So let me paste it there and then hit enter. One thing you can notice here, that OCaml is giving me a warning. It's telling me this pattern matching is not exhaustive, i.e. it doesn't cover all the possibilities, and that's true. I, now it's assuming I, by the way, it's inferring automatically that I is an integer because I'm using I here for matching, and it's automatically inferring that return type is actually a string. So you notice here that receives an int and returns a string. So let's try it, for example, with 5, and it return May. Let's try it with 9. It return September. If I pass it 30 or 12, I'm sorry, 13, then it'll give me an error, an exception, and here we can learn about exception handling. We'll do that later. But as we mentioned here, that it actually warned me, OCaml here warned me that it's not exhaustive. I don't cover all the possibilities, and one way of covering all the possibilities is by doing something like this, that I can say or. So if I is none of the above, if I is anything, remember this underscore, we mentioned this before when we call the function, we say we don't care about the return, the return value of that function. So that means if I is anything else than the above, that underscore then for example return sort of like none, or do any other action sort of. Yes, do any other action. I can copy that, I'm sorry, copy that, paste it, and now it's actually exhaustive. It's not warning me. If I give it 13, it'll return none. If I give it any of the other uh, 1 to 12 values, it will print out the, or return, it will return rather, it will return the corresponding month. Now, something I deleted before was that I can specify, we didn't learn this before, I can actually specify the type of the input variable and the return variable uh, of the function. So when I'm doing this at the moment, I'm telling it here inside this parenthesis that this variable I, this parameter I, needs to be of type int. So this is how I actually tell it explicitly, tell OCAML explicitly, tell this OCAML function explicitly that the value I am sending needs to be of type int, and the function should return type string. Yes, we're learning more than one thing at the same time. As you can see, I'm telling it I should be an int and the function should be, or should return a string. And if we have other variables, then we can use the same idea. We can use parentheses. Like for example, if I have another j, you can say j is of type, let's say float or anything like that, and so on and so forth. It can be either primitive type, or it can be maybe a sort of instance of a class or a struct, as we will learn in the coming video. So let me copy and paste this quickly. I really do apologize. And now as I said before, explicitly I'm telling it that my input variable, or I'm sorry, the argument I should be an int, and the function must return a string. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.